Okay, so we're back with 6.1, and now we're going to be talking about higher roots. So we have to slightly alter our notation to be able to discuss some higher roots. And what I mean by that phrase is cube roots, fourth roots, fifth roots, sixth roots. So when we see our radical symbol, we all usually feel very comfortable saying, hey, that's a square root. But if we want a higher root, then we do have to slightly change our notation. So what you're going to notice is you're going to start to notice a number kind of in this superscript notation on the left-hand side of that symbol. And so we just usually, in our notation, we call that that radical K there of A. And so what this notation denotes is we call it the kth root of A. And so, with the square root, when we were squaring the number, then the reverse of that process was the square root. So when we're looking for a kth root of a number, we're looking to reverse whatever exponent number this is. So for example, if I have we call this the cube root, right? So there's a third root there. We call that the cube root of 27. And so what we're looking for here, we are not reversing a squaring process. We're trying to reverse the cubing process, right? So a square root reverses the squaring process. The cube root here is going to reverse that cubing process. So the question is, what number multiplied by itself, right, 3 times is going to get us 27? Well, that answer is 3. The cube root of 27 has a value of 3. And just like with our principal square root there, when you see this cube root symbol or fourth root or fifth root or sixth root, we're usually denoting that non-negative root, unless if we have an odd root here and this number is negative. So we'll look at that in a second video. But here we are. So we've got our alteration to our notation. So you are going to start to notice a number being placed here. If you don't see that number, then it's understood to be the square root. So you read that as the kth root of A. So that's our cube root of 27 here, and we're reversing that cubing process. So if that was a fourth power, then we would be reversing that, raising the number to the fourth power process, and so on and so forth. So we just need to make sure we're all very clear on some vocabulary here. So this kth root of kind of symbol, we refer to that as our radical. And then K is what we call our index of our radical. So that's really telling us what process there that we're trying to reverse. So we've got our radical and K is the index. So sometimes K is visible. There is an expressed value there. Other times that K is invisible, and in that instance, we're assuming the square root. So an expression written with a radical is going to be referred to as a radical expression. And then the expression underneath the radical is referred to as the radicand. And I'm going to be using these words as we continue these videos on, so it's going to be really important here. Okay, so if we're looking at this example, obviously this is a radical expression because we see a radical symbol, and here we're saying that our index is 5, so we're talking about the fifth root here, and that's how we would refer to that. And then our radicand is everything that is underneath that radical symbol. So y squared plus 7 is considered to be our radicand. All right, in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can use your calculator to support you with finding the values of these higher roots.